Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Dhamma meeting where we will discuss the Buddhist practices of charity, morality, and meditation. Everyone is welcome to join. And we will start with our first participant, which happens to be Professor Ken from Switzerland. Hi, Professor.
Good afternoon, Ajahn.
Good evening to you.
Good evening. Ajahn, I have a question regarding the technique I use during meditation.
Yes.
Which is, I normally start, if the mind is a bit active, by repeating the Buddho, Buddho, Buddho.
Mm-hmm.
And as things calm down, it tends to synchronize with the breath. So it's Bud, Gablum Hai Jai Gao, and Do, Gablum Hai Jai O. And then if it calms down even more, the Buddha tends to fall away, leaving just the breath. Is it okay just to allow it to progress like that, or should I stick to?
It's up to you, but eventually we like just to watch the breath alone. But for some people, if they use Bhutto alone without using the breath, they can also just use Bhutto until the mind becomes calm. But if you use both of them together, then maybe eventually you would drop the Bhutto and just keep the breath, just keep watching the breath.
Okay. That's the way it seems to go, almost naturally as a process, ending up with just the breath. So that's okay.
Yes. Eventually, we want to watch the breath. We want to do anapanasati, but at the start, the mind might not be quite ready yet because of various thoughts and memories are still lingering in the mind, and it keeps preventing the mind to focus on the breath only. Then we use some kind of chanting or mantra to still the mind down a bit, and you can just use the mantra alone, or you can use it in conjunction with the breath if you like. This is up to each individual preferences. Some people have different preference. Yeah. So, but the goal is to have something for the mind to do, so that it doesn't go think about other things.
Okay.
And if you find that when you first started, you need to use Bhutto with your breath, okay, that's fine. And then as you progress, you find that Bhutto eventually you don't need Bhutto anymore. Then just keep watching the breath alone.
Okay.
And don't be distracted by whatever appears during your meditation, during your watching your breath. If you have anything that appears in your consciousness, in your awareness, just ignore them. Just concentrate on your breath, watching your breath, until the mind sort of drop into calm and it becomes still. Then even the breath disappear. Then all you need to do is to be aware and maintain that awareness of emptiness, aware of stillness of the mind, and maybe just keep watching. If your thought should arise, then you should stop it. If you want to keep the mind in that state of calm for as long as possible. You want to give the mind the strength. The longer the mind can remain calm and still, it will have the strength to resist the defilement when it comes out of meditation. So then you can use wisdom in conjunction with this calm mind to get rid of your cravings if they should come up. If they haven't yet come up, you might do the homework for prepare how to deal with those cravings when they come up later on in real time. Right now, they don't come up yet, so we might have to do a little bit of homework preparing, such as the desire not to die, the desire not to get old or get sick, for instance. This can come up and cause you stress or anxiety. Then you have to use wisdom and say, the body is like this, it's anicca, it's temporary. It has to get old, get sick, and die. You can, if you accept it and you don't resist, have it, then you won't have no suffering. But you don't want it to happen, then you can be miserable when it happens.
Yeah.
So this is what you want. You want a calm and steady mind, a still mind to resist your craving. When you're told by wisdom that the best way to deal with all situation is to stop reacting with craving. Just be merely acknowledging or being aware of what's going on. Because in fact, nothing is happening to the mind. Everything is happening to the thing that comes into the mind, awareness, which the mind doesn't have to do anything, just to be aware. Because when the mind tends to react with delusion, with cravings, or like or dislike, and then that can cause stress to arise. So you need to meditate a lot. And your beginning stage, you want to develop a calm mind, a clear mind, a still mind, so that when you come across situation in which you have to use wisdom or insight, then you can use contemplation to see that the things that you are involved with are all under the three characteristics of existence, in which you cannot really control them. They come and go as they like. They are all natural phenomena. And the only thing you can do is just go along with it, flow along with it.
Yeah.
Like the weather. I mean, the weather comes and goes, and we just have to go along with the weather. You cannot have the weather to go away. I don't want hot weather or cold weather. They just come as they like. And we can coexist with them. If we try to reject them or try to wanting to get rid of them, then we can have misery because we will not be able to do it. But if the mind hasn't yet been trained with samadhi, with meditation, when you are told by wisdom, the mind will still stubborn. It will still want to do something about whatever it is involved with. Rather than accepting the situation, the mind tends to wants to preserve or whatever the things that it loves, like the body, for instance. And that can become quite frustrating and cause you a lot of stress and unhappiness. But if you just accept the truth that, this is the way it's going to be, the body is impermanent, it's temporary, it's going to have to stop one day, stop functioning one day. So instead of trying to resist, you just go along with it. Just keep watching until it happens. Then you will have no stress, no anxiety, no worry, no misery. But if you cannot stop your desire, that's because you don't have enough meditation, mindfulness. The mind is not calm enough, still enough to prevent the cravings, the desire to come up. If your mind is strong with mindfulness, it can stop the cravings from arising. And then the mind just merely know what's going on, accepting what's going on, without having to react with anything, with like or dislike, or with pleasure or displeasure. It's, it's just watching the movie. Don't get involved with the movie. Just watch the movie. The mind is like an audience in a movie theater, and everything that the mind come into contact with the movies. But the mind forgot this fact, and the mind becomes involved with everything that it comes into contact with, and it reacts with pleasure or displeasure, with desire, so desire to be or not to be, so forth. And this can create a lot of stress for the mind. The best way for the mind to deal with everything is just remain calm. Don't react emotionally when you cannot do anything about it. If you can still do something about it, you can do it. But when you come to the point where it's not possible to do anything, then it's just better just to accept the situation. To accept this, you need to practice a lot of meditation to be able to remain still and not reacting. And that's the best position for the mind, is to be still, because that's what happiness arises in the mind, when the mind becomes still. And when you have happiness of heart, of mind, then whatever happens to other thing doesn't matter. You can let it be. So practice mindfulness and meditation as much as a lot. Don't worry much about wisdom. We know pretty much already about anicca, impermanence, and anatta, but we just cannot react to it properly. That's all. We still wants to manage, wants to control things. All right.
That's very clear. Thank you very much, Ajahn.
Okay. Go to Jordan and Trevor from Toronto. Father and son.
Good evening, Ajahn.
Did see you last week. You didn't come in last week, right? Did you?
I think my dad. I was. I had the audio on, but not the video.
I see.
Me too. I came in late.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Anything you like to ask tonight or today for you?
Do you want to start?
Yes. Do you have something too?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, I just had a question about, a few questions. While we're on the topic of meditation, walking meditation, is it the same thing you're doing in saying Buddha with each step, or just focusing on the breath, or do you focus on the feet?
Well, when you walk, I think it's more easier to focus on the feet than the breath, because the breath is much more subtle, harder to perceive than the feet, than the step that you walk. So you can use the step left, right, or you can recite the mantra Buddha along with knowing what you are stepping. Be aware. The goal is to prevent your mind from thinking about other things. That's all. You don't want to think about fixing your boat or going to a restaurant, whatever. Just want to focus on the present. Keep the mind with the body. The body is the present. If you're with the body, you're in the present. When you're not with the body, then you go into the past and the future, or you go away someplace else. That means your mind is working. You want to stop the mind from working. You want to keep it still.
And would you close your eyes if you can, if you're,
Or if you walk, you have to open your eyes. You have to know that what you're walking on. You have to look in front of you, whether there's a snake or a lizard or something, or a hole you might walk in, and you have to be careful. You have to know you know your steps.
and okay, but even in your in your living room, if I close my eyes, it's okay?
If you're sitting still, yes. If you don't do anything and if you want to close your eye, then you can do that. But if you're moving around, you want to open your eyes because you don't want to run into something or break something or cause something to fall off the table or whatever.
Okay, that makes it easier.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, a couple of other things. You mentioned an impermanence book last week. Was that Ganataranda who wrote that? Impermanence?
The book is really a collection of various people's opinion and the Buddha's statement about this fact. So it's not written by any particular person. But I think the introduction, maybe someone write the introduction.
Is there any way to get a copy of that? How would I find? I looked online for that. I couldn't find anything. I'll just throw it out there. But
I think my assistant will be able to give you the link to it.
Okay.
Maybe she's in the room. Maybe she can send you in the chat, and you can look in the chat later on. And
okay. Two other things. Sick. When monks get sick, and old, what happens to them?
it depends on the severity of sickness. If it's a time in which it happens and it then gets well by itself, then the monk usually, just don't do anything. Just keep the mind calm and not reacting, not worry about the sickness. Like if you have a cold or fever or something like that. But if this sickness persists, then you can go to the hospital and have your body checked up, find out what's wrong with your body. And if it could be fixed, you can fix it. There's no restriction, and as far as the body fixed, when the body gets sick, you can have it treated. But it depends on each monk. Some monk wants to be more reluctant of going to have it treated. Sometimes the monk just try to live with the sickness for as long as possible until he finds he can no longer live with it. Then he might have to go to the hospital.
And where do you keep old monks in the monastery until they pass on, or do they go to is there a retreat for older monks, or
No, they live in the same monastery until they die. But most monks are usually self-reliant even at old age because they've been trained that way. If they've been ordained very young, like at the age of 20, and then they're capable of looking after their own body even at the age of 80, 90.
Okay, and then last question, another banal question. Can monks sign legal documents, or is that something that all has to be taken care of before you become a monk? What if something comes up? You're a monk and something comes up, you have to sign a legal document.
Yes, you can still do that, but ideally monks should try to let go of all of their possession before they take up the monkhood, so they don't have to have any involvement with the worldly matters. They want to renunciate. That's the word, I think. Renunciate the world So everything that a monk's own usually is given away to somebody, whoever, and then they would have no distraction. They want to be fully concentrated on their own practice. Don't want to be distracted by other activities. But if something comes up and then you really have to do something about it, maybe it's still okay. There's no restriction, but ideally, it's better not to have anything to do with the worldly matters.
Okay, and I guess at least I just thought of something else, but if, say a family has a child who is a monk and, they die, do they leave their money to the monasteries? Is that something people do in Thailand?
Well, usually they don't give to the monks. They just divide up among the relatives of friends. Or if they want some for donation to the temple, they can do that also. Or even if they want to donate to the monks, they can also do that. Monks are allowed to receive donation. So if you have inheritance for the monk, it's okay also. But it's how the monk deal with the inheritance. That's another matter. If a monk is fully serious about renunciation, even if he receives any donation, he might give it away to some other charity or to the temple, to the monastery that he lives in, because he find that having money can become a distraction and a cause of worry. So it's better not to have anything, since the monk doesn't need any money to exist. We all look after with the 4 requisites of life: food, shelter, medicine, and clothing. So we don't really need to have any need for spending money, especially if you concentrate on your meditation practice.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
But you can make a will and give it to your son, even if he's a monk. He can. If you make a will, but if you don't make a will, a monk has no right to go challenge the inheritance.
Oh, I only have one son, so he's it. So what he does with it is up to him.
Yes, but if you didn't make any will beforehand, the inheritance might not pass that directly to him because you didn't make it in the will. And as a monk is not allowed to go to challenge in court for the right to inherit that.
I'll make a will.
Possession. Yeah.
We're both going to make our wills before he goes. But thank you.
Okay. And you, Trevor? Jordan.
Tanajan, I had a question. How do we not make the same mistakes again when we've when we've acted in a way that we regret? What are some ways to?
You have to punish yourself. So like maybe you say you have to fast for 3 days if you do something wrong. So that you know that there are consequences every time you do something wrong, like fasting for 3 days or whatever. You punish yourself in a beneficial way, but not hurting your body or anything like that. But you want to punish your defilement, which was the one that caused you to do the wrong thing.
Okay, so teach ourselves that way.
Yeah, teach yourself that way. Discipline yourself.
Okay.
All right. Is that it for now?
That's it for now. Thank you. I'm overwhelmed this week with.
You're nearly on your way now, isn't it? I heard you told me you're coming in the end of this month.
Yes, I have. This is my last week here in Toronto, and leaving, flying to Thailand, January 28th to Bangkok.
Your visa, everything is approved now.
It came through really quickly. Yeah.
Okay, so you have a study visa.
I have a study visa for
1 year.
Should be 8 months actually.
8 months. Okay, good.
At the end of 5 months, I'll have 5 months of study. I'll have 3 months to hopefully find a monastery where I can stay.
Okay, good.
And
Or
I'm
you
going to
can
come
you can
when
visit
I-
you can visit monastery during your weekend or something like that too, isn't it?
I
You're
will.
not
Yeah.
you're not confined to any place
No.
you can still move around, do things as long as
Uh-huh.
you attend your classes.
That's right. Yeah. So I'll try to. I guess I'll see how possible it might be to go on a weekend. So, some of the monasteries are far in the northeast that I might want to
Yeah,
look at. But there are public holidays sometimes which make a long weekend. I want to come and spend time at Wat Yan on the mountain as much as I can.
there are a
as well.
couple of Ajahn Chah's disciple monastery, Ajahn Tan and Ajahn Anand, which is not very far from Wat Yan and not far from Bangkok. You can travel just a few hours to get there.
That sounds
Just-
good. It would be worth
yeah.
checking those out. I've spent time with Ajahn Dun already, and he was
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah. Okay, it's good to try different monasteries so you know the differences, and then you can have a choice to pick the one that's suitable for you.
Okay. I have some teachers that Ajahn Dick recommended that I think I'd like to ask you about, but maybe when I come to Thailand.
Okay, all right. I think they're all good. You just have to go look to see them whether they're suitable for you or not. That's all. Because each teacher have different style of teaching, and though how they communicate with you might be a little bit of a problem. Some might not speak English at all.
Mm. Yeah, I'm imagining it'll take some years to become fluent enough to actually talk to a teacher.
Yeah, okay. Just take the time, and try to get where you want to go eventually.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
you're welcome. I'll go to Malaysia now to Philip from Kuala Lumpur.
Good evening, Ajahn. Don't have any question. Actually, you answered the question by Professor Kenneth. It's about the same. So thank you.
Okay, all right. Go to Lillian in Bangkok.
Good evening, Ajahn. I have a question. I'm just wondering, is there such thing as doing meditation wrongly, or we are just not doing the meditation long enough? Because when I'm doing meditation, I actually can feel very calm, but once I move out of the meditation, like I can lose my emotions quite easily. Like,
That's because you don't continue with your mindfulness.
Yep.
When you meditate, you use mindfulness so you can calm your mind. But when you stop meditating, you give up your mindfulness and just let your mind roam around, do whatever it wants to do. So you still want to restrain your mind with mindfulness even after you come out of meditation. You can recite Bhutto, Bhutto, or focus on what your body is doing. Just keep watching your body.
okay.
Then it will be difficult for your mind to react to things because it's still under your control.
Okay.
So mindfulness is important even before, during, and after meditation. You have to have mindfulness all day long. In your waking hours, you should try to maintain as much mindfulness as possible.
Okay.
Either use reciting a mantra or keep watching what your body is doing and focus on what your body is doing. Such as if you're eating, just only focus on eating. Don't let your mind go think about working or doing something else.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, good.
Yep.
All right. How is your son? I saw him just now.
Yeah, but he said he has no questions, so he went to sleep.
Okay. All right.
Yep. Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, good to see you again.
Yep. Good to see you again too.
Kok Seng, Singapore.
Good evening, Prajan. No questions at the moment.
Okay. Go to Christine Coe from Penang.
Good evening, Tanajan. I have no question. I'll come in to pay respect to Tanajan.
Okay. Did you go back to the monastery yet?
Not yet.
Why not? What keep you so long?
Yeah, because I have to go back to office and work.
You don't see the monastery as a gold mine yet. If you see the monastery as a gold mine, you would go to the monastery more than you go to work.
Yeah, correct. In fact, I love monastery lifestyle, very peace and very happy, and without all the kilesa. But on the other hand, still greed.
You should try to reduce your workload down gradually if it's possible. So spend less time on working. Just work enough to maintain your body, and then have more time to spend for developing your mind.
Maybe like Tanajan previously advised me, maybe consider for part-time instead of full-time.
Yeah, work part-time. Yeah. Because then you can have more time to go to the monastery and practice. Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Go to California. Stalin. Hi, Stalin. Oh, he's not here yet. What's your name? Your what? Mrs. Stalin?
I'm Sheila.
Sheila. Okay.
Yeah. He's not here today.
I see. You have any question?
Just that when we investigate, just investigating outside is not good enough, right? And because we have to go into our mind and investigate within our mind.
It depends on what you're investigating. See, we have to investigate three objects. First, the body, then the feelings, then the mental states. So it depends where your object is. Then you have to go and investigate to understand the true nature of these objects. That they are impermanent. They can cause you suffering if you become attached to them, and they are not under your control. There's no self in them.
Because when we go out with our mind, we tend to blame others when we don't like something. So what we should know is what is within our mind, right? Not whatever that person has to say or whatever that person thinks. What we should take care of is what we see and know that moment began with those conditions, and they will cease within that and just leave it alone, right?
Well, you see, if you see everything as a natural phenomena, then you don't blame them. You don't blame the weather. You don't know. You just accept the weather.
Okay. That's all I had. I think Stalin is coming. Can he come and join us?
Yeah.
He just woke up in the morning and.
What time in California now? It's about what? 4, 5?
5:35.
5:35. Quite early for California. Good morning.
Good morning. Dhanajan, I want to ask not a question. The way I think about it. But this is a deep question on the Dhamma. Do I have the permission?
Sure, you're allowed to ask anything you like.
Now, Tanajan, the word vijnana is interpreted according to the circumstances or according to the condition that that is present at that moment. For example, if you talk about the five aggregates, vijnana refers to either chakku vijnana, sota vijnana, and so on. Vijnana that arises from the salayatanas or the six ayatanas. When it goes to the to nama rupa, there it refers to nama rupa paccha vijnana, vijnana paccha nama rupa. But in that nama rupa, the nama aspect vijnana is there. And there is another vijnana here refers to as nama rupa paccha vijnana. Then when you come to the Arahant's vijnana, it is said Vijnanam anidasanam anantam sabapso bhavam. That is, vijnana is non-indicative. Anantam, it is vast, resplendent. Anidasanam, and then it says, where na apo tejo ayo na gahadati. Apo, that is the four elements, does not take hold in it. Now that's a different vijnana. So therefore, my question is, isn't the vijnana to be understood according to the condition or to the state to which the word vijnana is applied?
Well, I'm not well versed in this vijnana. Only thing vijnana I know is the vijnana in the nama khanda, the mental aggregate, which connects to the ayatana, which are the sensual organs of the body, the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body, in order for it to receive the sensual object that come into contact with the sensual organs. That's the vijnana.
Then again, Buddha talks, rather, it is written there in the Samyutta Nikaya, under the Salayatana Vagga, Buddha includes the sense organ and the object at the ayatana. So when it is referred to as ayatana, it is the sense object and the sense organ taken together.
Yes, you need both you need the sense organs to be able to receive the sense objects. And then you need the vijnana to be able to send this sense objects to the mind, to the knower. So it can process with sanya and sankhara.
So yes, as it is shown as chakkunta rupe upajjati chakku vijnana tina sangati passo. Coming together, the three is referred to as perception. Yes. So that was my question, and that I wanted to ask what you think about it.
Well, as far as vijnana that I understand is part of the team of the mental aggregate, is part of the Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and they work as a team, and they work and they keep constantly changing with the changing of the sensual objects.
But the question there is nama rupa pacchaya vijnana, vijnana pacchaya nama rupa. So that is where but I am thinking about why vijnana out there separated off from the vijnana in the nama kanda.
I don't know. Nama rupa usually refers to the five aggregates. Rupa is the body aggregate, and nama is the mental aggregate. And this they go together in the nama rupa. They go. Like right now we are the nama rupa.
Yeah, that is understood where the Rupa is totally destroyed at the level of anagami.
The problem is not with this thing, knowing this thing or not knowing this thing. The problem is to know when you have feeling arising and you start to have desire or tanha, cravings. That's why you want to stop the cravings. Because it's this craving that will cause you to have attachment and cause you to have rebirth again when the body dies. So you want to stop the craving. That's the thing that we want to do, is to stop the craving. And to stop the craving, you need samadhi and panya to do it.
As shown in the Bahya Sutra and the Malunka Buddha Sutra, there perception, limit consciousness, limit that consciousness without papanja, without proliferating on that consciousness. When you see it, consider it as seen, not somebody seeing or something. Just seeing that phenomena and stop it.
Yeah, it's not important. What's important is how to stop the cravings. That's all.
Yeah.
Whether you know or not know about this seeing or not seeing, it doesn't matter so much. What matters is how do you stop the cravings when they come up.
That is at the level of the feeling leading to the paticca samuppada, the vedana leading to tanha. Break at that point.
See, the mind, the five aggregate is like an automobile. It has different parts working at the same time, right? You have the engine working, you have the wheels turning. You don't have to know all these things. All you have to know is how to stop the car when it's going to run into something. As a driver, you don't need to know all the details of how the engine works. What you want to know is how to drive the car safely. That's all.
Sometimes, Venerable sir, if you don't know the basics of that, if the car stops, at least you can't.
Well, it won't stop. It's not like a car. It won't stop. When it stops, you die. That's all.
Yeah, but the paticca samuppada aspect has to be seen. The paticca samuppada has to be seen and realized, because the Buddha said, he who understands the paticca samuppada understands the Dhamma. And he also said, monks, I did not declare total enlightenment until and unless me and Buddha, Buddha, the one before Buddha Kassapa, that we both of us did not declare our total enlightenment till such time that we fully understood the paticca samuppada. So, I don't know, my feeling is the Chattaro Satipatthana, the four foundations of mindfulness, together with the understanding of the paticca samuppada, takes you into the Dhamma in a deep way.
Okay.
At least that's what
just do as you like. You know, this is.
That is what I have done.
Okay,
so,
good.
Understanding of that.
All right.
Okay.
Can I ask?
That's all that I have to say. Huh?
Can I ask a question?
You want to ask?
Sure. Go ahead.
Sheila wants to ask a question. Go ahead.
So when we live within the our daily life, we still have to have that mindfulness. I see that more and more mindfulness gets built up, and then you no longer have to be mindful. Now mindfulness always comes and reminds you to just stay calm and stay peaceful, not to react, right? So that is the practice while doing our daily chores and doing whatever we do.
Everything.
Yeah.
Don't react, just remain calm, equanimity.
Right.
Then your mind will have no stress. But when you react with emotion, then you're creating stress. And if you react with cravings or desire, then you can have stress coming up in your mind.
Yeah, sometimes habitually when I see a salty snack or something, I try to grab, and I have to always remind myself that is just a thought that arose in my mind, and I just let it go and not go back to it. So
That's
like
right.
that, I have to really watch myself all
Mm,
the day,
yeah,
not to get into the nivaranas, right? That is the kama chanda part of it, right?
that's right. Good.
Okay.
Just remain aloof from everything. You can exist without having to have anything. You can be happy without having to have anything. So
Right.
no need to go after anything.
And thank you.
Okay.
But at a point, you get to know that all this is nothing but a dream. The entire world is nothing but a dream.
Yes, we are all dreamers.
Nothing but a dream. Going here, going there,
Yeah.
it's just dreams.
We have to wake up and to
Wake
realize
up.
that we are dreaming.
We have to see the reality.
Yes.
Is there a world? Is there no world? Is the world is there in the brain, the creating, sorry, the brain, not the brain. It's in the mind that you create this so-called world, which is a totally an illusion. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thanks for your wisdom. Okay,
I'm trying to go there.
all
And
right.
I think I will go, but not so far, but I'm there.
Okay, good. Good. Next, Diana from Wales.
Greetings, Tanishan. I have one question my son asked me. We were talking about the mind that stays when you die, that passes on when the body dies, and he said, "Is it a consciousness?" And I couldn't tell him the difference between consciousness and the one that knows. I said it was
It's the same
consciousness.
thing. It's the same thing.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing. The mental parts of our life continues on. The physical part dissolves into the four elements.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
And
So
this mental part will then rejoin with a new body, and that's when we
yes.
have a rebirth.
So his understanding of consciousness was right.
See, the word in English, you have so many different words for the
Yes.
same thing, so it can be confusing. So we usually use the word chitta in Pali, chitta, or the knowing element.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
This one doesn't die with the body. This one will. This one contains all of our like and dislike, all of good and bad karma. So when in our next life we continue to be the same person as with this life. The only thing that changes the body. So the body is just like a set of clothing that we change, but the person who wears the clothing doesn't change with the clothing, right?
Mm.
Okay, the mind doesn't change with a new body. The mind will still be the same old mind. If you used to
Yes.
be envious, you'll still be envious. If you used to be greedy, you'll still be greedy.
Yes. What do you think, or maybe I can't ask you, what the difference between that is and what people call the soul?
Like I said, the word has to, I think they all refers to the same thing, the mind.
Okay.
But
Okay.
with different interpretation, different
Okay.
religion, different, people when they just try to interpret something that is not the body, but it's part of
Yes.
us. That's all.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
You can
Okay.
call it the soul, you can call it the spirit, you can call it the mind,
Okay.
you can call it the heart. These are
Okay.
all, we're talking about the same thing.
Yes. Oh, that's good.
Okay.
That's good. I'll get back to him. I'll tell him what you said. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. You're welcome.
Thank you.
the problem is not so much the definition of this thing. The point is trying to fix this thing so that it doesn't create any suffering. That's all. The mind keep creating suffering due to its delusion and cravings. See? So we want just to stop these cravings by stopping the delusion. The delusion is to think the mind think that in order for it to be happy, it has to have a body. It has to have sensual objects to enjoy. And that's wrong, because the body is temporarily, the sensual objects are temporarily, and you can only enjoy it for a brief time. And then after that, it will disappear. Then what you live empty-handed. You live, hungry for more. So you keep reborning. So you have to teach the mind that you can be happy without having to have anything, by staying calm, stopping your cravings. That's all.
Yeah.
This is what we want to fix, really.
Yes, that's the hard bit.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
Sometimes we forget the problem. We're trying to study all things about the problem, not trying to get rid of the problem. And the Buddha said the problem is the cravings that cause us to have rebirth. And when we have rebirth, we have aging, sickness, and death, and separation from the one we love. If we want to stop this suffering, then we have to stop rebirth. In order to stop rebirth, we have to stop our cravings. Meditate.
Yes.
And be happy just being alone, having nothing to keep. You don't need anything to make you happy. You don't need to go to on a holiday. You don't need to have anything really. If you can meditate and if you can calm your mind, stop your mind from thinking, then you can be happy right there and then. Then you know you don't need anything. But as far as the body, you still have to feed it, But if you cannot feed it, then it's okay also, because one day it's gonna die anyway. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. We'll go to Alvin now. Alvin from Malaysia.
Good evening, Ajahn. I'm just here to pay respect to you. Thanks a lot for your question. Thank you.
Okay. How about Geg Yenso? Do you have anything to say? From Penang?
Yeah. No question, Ajahn. Yeah.
Okay. We'll go to Cynthia then. Cynthia Schmidt. This is your first time here, Cynthia?
I think another time, but I watched on Facebook and on YouTube, and I met you at your monastery and on Alms Round. And
I see. Okay, I remember now.
In November, yeah.
Okay.
And I've been traveling. I was just in Ubon for Ajahn Chah Week, and going back to Bangkok soon. So that's good. So I can come see you and go see Ajahn Anan regularly. So I'm happy for that. So I have a question. I have a friend who was a monk and disrobed and went back to robe up and then decided to get a girlfriend instead. And that began a conversation with another friend of mine who's a Dhamma, been practicing for like 20 years or something, and also wanted to be a monk, but didn't. And we've been having this sort of lively discussion about craving. And it's mostly about his position is that the Buddha taught that we should avoid suffering. He uses the word avoid. And his life, he kind of builds a life in a way to not engage and not, he's a lay person, but he tries to stay away from things. And I kind of told him that I feel like craving and avoiding something is kind of the same thing, only opposite, right? Like if you're really like actively avoiding any kind of pain, then that's the same as trying to get something. You're still creating karma either way. You're still creating a situation where you're reborn into something because you're grasping at it or you're trying to avoid it. And so I wanted to ask you about that.
Well, see, there are three types of cravings. One, the cravings for sensual objects, sensual pleasure, like seeing a movie, listening to music. This is sensual cravings. Then we have the craving to be, you want to be rich, you want to be famous, you want to be happy, for instance. This is the cravings to be. And then we have the third one is the craving not to be sick, not to get old. This is the avoiding, not to feel bad. Yeah, this is the avoiding part, the avoiding craving. They are considered to be cravings, positive and negative cravings.
Right.
We have to avoid. We have to stop all of them. When we get sick, we just have to accept sickness. Don't try to run away from it, for instance.
Right.
Accept it, then live with it. So it's temporary, it comes and goes like everything else.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way the Buddha said that to completely avoid a romantic relationship, because Buddhism would have died 2,400 years ago if that was the case. So obviously he doesn't say that. He says you have to know suffering, not you have to avoid suffering, right?
You have to know suffering and know the cause of suffering and try to eliminate the cause of suffering. Then the suffering will disappear.
When you identify with it, that's the suffering right there. When you self-identify with the thing. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Ajahn, and I'll see you soon.
Okay. Happy traveling.
Yeah, I'm tired. Ubon was pretty intense. There were so many people. Oh my gosh. It was amazing.
It's a festival.
Yeah, it was I was pretty overwhelmed for the whole week, but anyway, now I'm resting, so it was totally worth going. It was great.
Okay. Enjoy your travel then. Okay, next, Belinda from Singapore.
Good evening, Ajahn. I don't have questions.
Okay, no question. So I'll go to PR and Indira from Toronto.
Good morning from Toronto, Ajahn.
Good morning, Ajahn.
Okay, good evening to you.
So nice to see you as always.
Yes.
Okay.
And we keep practicing everything you teach us. We both have given so much more weight to the practice. So yeah, keep doing what we are learning from you.
You've been studying too much of the map. You should stop studying and start traveling.
That's right.
Yes.
So sometimes it can get in the way of practice, I believe. Too much detail of where this tree, where can I walk, is there a hole there? I mean, just walk. I mean, sometimes you will find the hole, but or then you can avoid it.
Cross the bridge when you come to it.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's what I did, but I used to get lots of information overload from him.
I think I learned the hard way. Sometimes too much theory can be the way of practice. So I have to start unlearning. I know at the beginning you need to unlearn from wrong views, but to get into Dhamma, learning. But again, Dhamma learning also can, sometimes after a while, it can be a hindrance, clutter in your mind. At one stage, you want to know this detail. If I only know this state, I'll go to the practice. No, it doesn't have to be. So I think Indi is correct. I'm learning from Indi.
Sit and practice. That's the most important thing. And also, Ajahn, sometimes more than knowledge from books, day-to-day things that happen to you from family, from friends, so many things, those are actually
like practical lessons or teachers, come in disguise. So we have to sometimes, we've been dealing with some of them recently. So I think that's very helpful.
Yes, everything that you come into contact with can be your teacher.
Yes, absolutely. And also you learn, now, especially like parents, I mean, Buddha has put so much weight, how important to look after them, everything. But, like you learn how to, like, they also can be your teachers, so yeah. So many life lessons can be better teachers sometimes then.
Yeah, just use Dhamma as the mirror. I think that was advice given to Rahula. Even before you speak, while you're speaking, after you speak, reflect. So it's kind of a total mindfulness. It's not easy, right? Just use as a mirror, Dhamma.
That's right. It takes practice. We're not used to doing this kind of thing, so we need to develop this skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we need the teacher like the Buddha to keep reminding us what to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes we fall into these pitfalls, and again, we kind of rescue ourselves. Like sometimes it happens. I guess we all have to go through these difficulties in the path, and as a reminder, it's dukkha. Like samsara is dukkha, like lots of suffering along the way.
But we are blessed because Buddha taught us the way out of suffering. So we have to work hard at it. That's the most important thing. And use all those, as Ajahn Brahm always says, when he was in Thailand, when he went as a young British guy, like the mosquitoes, he used to call them Ajahn mosquito. So
that teaches something. Chanaram, when someone becomes a stream enterer, it's just one way, right? It doesn't. There is no reversal of his wisdom. I mean, it's just that's the entry, like for the stream that you fall into the river one day.
Well, it's like being a doctor. Once you're a doctor, you're always a doctor, right?
Unless they take my license away.
Unless you don't practice for a while, then you can forget.
Properly. Yes.
But if you keep practicing, then you
practice it correctly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's similar like that. But,
similar.
Yeah. Once you see the body as the as the anicca, dukkha, anatta, you
can unsee it.
Yeah. You can
Once you
unsee
see it, you don't have to unsee. You can unsee it. Right? It's just clear. Yeah.
Once you know somebody stole your money, you cannot forget that.
True. Yeah. So once you see like truth, like I mean, no, even someone comes and say, no, this is not the truth. I think you're mistaken, but you know it for yourself. This is the truth. Yeah. So even 100 people come and say, but you yourself, let's just say, okay, just let it go. But you know you have seen it, right? Then there's no other person can tell you this is not the right thing. This is the wrong thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, as always, because honestly, we both were saying in the car too, our lives have changed a lot since we started listening to you, and through your wisdom, we've learned so much. And
also the questions other people ask, like very useful.
Very useful.
Yeah. Even at the beginning today, the professor's questions were very useful. Thank you.
So the discussion, we learned so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope you keep following us. Don't forget us.
Right.
We need company.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sadhu.
Right. I'll go to the other side of Canada now, to the west, to Sui and Czech, around Vancouver.
Yeah, greetings, brother.
Tanajan. Oh, good morning, yeah, good evening, Tanajan.
What can I do for you today?
For me, no questions. Still working on my satipatthana.
Have you memorized your what's so hard? It's just a few minutes to recite. Really, it doesn't take that long. I think there's a version in the mind. The mind doesn't like this to study this thing. It's not exciting like study something else. Like when to go on a holiday, for instance, this is more exciting.
It's working. Then at least try to force myself to memorize and take the times to not allow the mind to go and think of something else.
See, when you meditate, you should just memorize what you have remembered. This is a way of calming your mind, preliminary way of calming your mind down. Then after that, you might be able to focus on your breathing, on your breath.
Yes.
So you have to set up a goal when you're going to memorize it. If you don't, then you just keep pushing it away, kick the bucket down the road.
One paragraph at a time, pushing, yeah. working on it, but it's pushing one paragraph at a time. And okay, sometimes I forgot, then go back. But then in Satipatthana, basically the Buddha is it in the first part trying to tell the mind that there's a body? I think the mind already know that there's a body, right? Or we are not aware of there's a body.
We know the body, but not the truth of the body. We know the body as being us. I am the body. This body is mine, and I want to live forever. This is delusion. See? You have to switch your understanding and see the body as not yourself. The body is just your servant. You're the master. You're the mind. The mind is the master who tells the body what to do. And the body is not going to last forever. It's going to get old, get sick, and die. This is something we forget. So we don't want to think about. So we think we're going to live forever. When we do our planning, we never plan about when we're going to get old, get sick, or die, right? In fact, we should always have this in the back of our mind whenever we do planning for the body. You have to make you have to know that one day you're gonna end up being an old man, an old lady, staying in the old age home, abandoned by everybody, except the nurses and the doctors around you. This is what we forget. We don't want to think about. We think we're going to be like this forever. We're going to live like this forever. But take a look at the photo 10 years ago and today. Do you look the same or not?
No.
Okay. That's anicca, right? This is change. Yeah. And project it to the next 10 years. Look at somebody 10 years older than you are. See how they look like. And then project it back to you and say, this is how I'm going to look like 10 years from now, or 20 years from now. Or maybe something might happen. You might get sick and you might die before your old age. Anything is possible. See? These are things that we have to consider. Because this is the truth. This is a possibility that can happen. This is what the Buddha wants us to know, and try not to become attached to the body in a certain way. We have to learn to accept the change that will happen to the body. Some might be slowly, some might be quickly, So that when it happens, you don't get any suffering from it, because you know it's going to happen. You don't ask why. People ask why this person has to die, why this person has to get sick. There's no why, it's the truth. If you know the truth of the body, you don't ask why. It is the truth. It's anicca. The body is subjected to change. Aging is change, right? Sickness is change, death is change. So this is why you have to study the nature of the body, so that you can then switch your view on the body to have the right view of the body. And the body is anicca, it's changing all the time, every second. This second and the previous second, the body has already changed just a little bit, but it's so slight, so minute, we don't see the difference. But it keeps changing like a snail that keeps walking slowly. Yeah. If you just look at it, it doesn't seem like the snail is moving at all. But if you come back and look at it an hour later and say, oh, where it is now? It's gone somewhere. But you have to think of the body like it's changing very slowly, every second. You this second and you the previous second is two different person already, you know that? The body is two different person already. And it keeps moving, it's like a clock, it keeps going until eventually it stops, you know. That's when the body stops breathing. But you won't be able to study this if you don't have mindfulness, because without mindfulness, your defilement will pull your mind to go think about all other things that the defilement wants you to think about. How to make more money, how to preserve the money you have, how do you plan for retirement, and so forth. You just keep thinking about this thing and forgetting that what happened if you die before that?
Yeah.
So first you have to do step by step. You have to develop mindfulness first and develop samadhi. After that, you have mindfulness, can have samadhi. Then your mind becomes still, free from the defilement. So when you come out of meditation, then you can then instruct the mind to investigate the nature of the body. And then to prepare yourself for whatever is going to happen to the body. And you might not want to worry too much about the future, because you already know what the future will be. Aging, sickness, and death is waiting for you around the corner. So what you want to do is how to cope with it when it happens. And the way to cope with it is to be calm and let it happen. If you cannot do anything about it, if you can still do something about it, do it. But if you cannot, then just accept it. If the doctor says you have terminal cancer, what can you do? You just have to prepare your mind to accept the truth. If you already prepared your mind, then you don't have to do it, because you already know this is going to happen. You already made arrangement for this thing. When this thing happens, your mind just know how to deal with it. Your mind just stay calm and can still be happy as if nothing has happened. But if you don't prepare yourself first, when things happen, you say, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So you run around all over the place looking for the way to kill your body instead of curing your mind. The one that can be curable is your mind. The body is not curable. But you can kill your mind, save your mind from stress and anxiety. But you fix your attention on the wrong object. Instead of the mind, you fix your attention on the body and try to fix the body that you cannot fix. Forget to fix the mind that you can fix. So, okay, keep memorizing the Satipatthana Sutta. Just the body part, just only the first part, the body section.
That's why when I read it, because mindfulness, that there's a body, Buddha, okay. So the meaning is so.
No, you misunderstand the word mindfulness of the body. to use the body as an anchor to prevent your mind from thinking about other things. To keep watching your body, stay with your body. If you have to watch what your body is doing, then you cannot go think about other things, right? It's like when you play something intense like sport, like playing soccer, you have to focus on your playing. You cannot think about other things. Or when you play violins or piano or whatever, you have to be fully focused on what you do. Then you cannot think about how to manage your retirement saving and so forth during when you play these things, right? But when you're not doing anything, when you're doing something easy, then you can think about all these other things. So you want to take mindfulness of the body seriously and say, stick to the body, keep watching the body, stay with the body, don't go anywhere else. But in your life, you cannot do this because as a layman, you have to do a lot of thinking about working and so forth. So the only way that you can do this is to become a monk. Or maybe a temporary practitioner, like on your day off. Then you forget about everything that you do on your work days. Empty your mind of work and everything, and then try to focus on your body or on your mantra. It's not mentioned in the Satipatthana using the mantra, but it can be an alternative to the body or to be an assistant to the body. When you have the mantra, then your mind cannot go anywhere else. So you will be left with the body. So you'll see whatever the body is doing more clearly. But the purpose is to stop your mind from wandering, thinking aimlessly. Mindfulness, this is the function of mindfulness. And in order to have this ability, you have to tie your mind with something like the body. That's why we call mindfulness of the body. Everything you do, when you drink, okay, mindful of what you drink, that you're drinking something. When you eat, mindful of eating. From the time you take the food from the plate, put it in your mouth, chew it, swallow it, then come back, repeat the same thing again. Take the food from the plate, put it in your mouth, chew it, swallow it. You have to know all these steps and not anything else. Normally you'll be doing eating and you're thinking about some other thing at the same time, right? That is not being mindful. If you are mindful, you don't think about any other thing except what you do at that moment. If you can do this when you meditate, your mind won't go away, and your mind can become calm very quickly. 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Ajahn, when I be mindful of the food that I eat, and then it's kind of like take away, the taste, but it takes away the enjoy.
You don't want to enjoy it. You're a practitioner. You don't care about enjoyment. You want to develop mindfulness. You want to enjoy the fruit of your meditation, which is much more better than the fruit of your food that you eat.
Yeah.
You don't want to enjoy anything. You want to abandon everything, renunciate everything. The joy you get from worldly things is temporary, and it can be addictive. And when you cannot enjoy, then you can have suffering. So our goal is to enjoy the fruit of our meditation. When the mind becomes perfectly still, peaceful, and calm, then you experience a kind of happiness that is much more greater than any other type of happiness. Okay.
That's so good. That's so helpful. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, go to Gary from Singapore.
Ajahn, good evening. Thank you for the teaching. No questions from me for now.
Okay, do we have anybody else? Okay, everybody's in the room have asked question already. So I'll go to, we have some question from email and from YouTube. Go to Kunju.
Yes, we have 10 questions so far this evening. The first 5 questions are from the assistant Gmail. The first question is from Chandy from Toronto. Question 1. During meditation, when concentrating on the breath, at some point, the breath almost disappears. Where do we focus our attention when the breath disappears?
At the same point where you focus when the breath is still there. Just know that there's no breath, that's all. That's all. But don't and watch whether your mind start to think or not. When your mind start to think, you have to stop it from thinking.
The next question is also from Chandy. When breath almost disappears, sometimes my heart seems to beat faster. The eyes start fluttering like rapid eye movement, and I was gasping for breath as if I am drowning. How do I overcome this?
I don't know if the breath seems to be more subtle, it means your mind is more calm. So it kind of contradicts what you say. I don't know how to answer this question because it seems to be contradicting. You said the breath, as the breath seems to disappear, and then you start to have all this thing. It shouldn't be. If the breath becomes more fine, more subtle, and not capable, not able to see the breath, then your mind should be very calm by then. Not having anything happening like you say. So I don't know how to answer this question.
The next question is from Jessica from South Wales, United Kingdom. I am 53 years old. In the past, I focused on Tibetan Buddhist and visualization of different deities and mantra, which I found it to be too difficult. So I recently turned to Theravada Buddhism. I've been only practicing Theravada Buddhism for a few weeks, and I'm gaining tremendous benefit from watching my mind and focusing on the Bhutto mantra. She has a few questions. I'm not sure how I would structure a day's retreat, such as how long should each session be and what chanting should I do?
Well, you should do it naturally. First of all, you should do is mindfulness. You should maintain mindfulness from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. Regardless of what you do, you have to be mindful of your body all the time. If you're walking, you have to be with the walking. If you're sitting, you should be with the sitting. If you're doing anything, you should be with that action, that activity only. Try not to allow your mind to go away to go think about other things at the same time. If you need to think about something, then you stop all your other activities and then just concentrate, focus on what you have to think. And only think when you really need to, have to. Once you finish thinking, then you should stop your thinking. The goal is to clear the mind of thoughts as much as possible. And when you have the time to sit, then you can sit as long as you like.
And Jessica also asks, what should I do between sessions and how many sessions should I be aiming for? Any advice would be gratefully received.
All day long, just spend all day long practicing, either sitting mindfulness, either maintaining mindfulness with whatever you have to do, because you have other works to do also, like cleaning, washing your body, and so forth. But your practice of mindfulness have to be all the time. You can do that. You can do mindfulness all the time by focusing on your body movement or action. And then when you have nothing to do, you can then sit down and meditate as much as possible, as long as possible. Sit until you can no longer sit. then you can switch from sitting to walking meditation instead. Try to do only meditation and mindfulness if you can, and try to not do any other thing.
The next two questions are anonymous from Indonesia. Question 4, are dreams triggered by imaginations during waking hours or by events in the past lives? What would be the cause of dreams in general?
Well, dreams are created by your mind, by the sankhara, the mental formation, and they're usually driven by your past action, good or bad karma. If you have good dreams, it means it's driven by your good karma. And if you have bad dreams, it means it's been driven by your bad karma.
Next question. Many people think they are enlightened. What would be the parameter that we can use to maintain our mental sanity from this kind of imagination?
Well, when you have to understand, first of all, you have to know what enlightened means. If you don't know, then you can go crazy. So you have to study the word enlightenment. What does it really mean? First, before you can then try to think whether you're enlightened or not. If you have to think whether you're enlightened or not, then you're not enlightened. So don't worry about enlightenment. Just stick to the practice. Stick to mindfulness and meditation, and you'll be okay. Forget about enlightenment right now. You need to have mindfulness and samadhi first before you can go to enlightenment, go to wisdom.
The next questions will be from Facebook. The first question is from Robert Doust. Is there a difference in karma cost if someone commits suicide compared to killing other living beings?
Yes, there are different consequences of killing. It depends on who you kill. So if you kill someone who is, can't think of the word, but someone who are real good people like the Buddha or your parents, this is considered to be the worst type of karma, and you will have to reap the worst fruit of this bad karma.
The next question.
Okay, go ahead.
The next questions are from Tanik. Some teachers told me to let go of the body completely, but some told me to stay grounded in the body. What is the best way?
Well, see, it's two different levels of practice. When you first practice, you want to use the body as your anchor to stop your mind from thinking about other things. This is mindfulness practice. But once you get to the wisdom level, then you want to study to see the true nature of the body. And when you see that the body is impermanent, then you know that you have to give it up one day. So you cannot be attached to it if you don't want to have any stress or suffering. So it's depends on which level you are on. See, if you're still developing mindfulness, then you have to keep watching the body, anchor your mind to the body. But it doesn't mean being attached to the body either. You can apply wisdom at the same time, that you know that one day this body can die, or something can happen to the body, and you must be willing to let it happen, willing to let go.
Another question from Tanik. How do we let go of the body when we are alive? And is the citta a self, or do we let go of the mind?
We let go of our attachment to the body. We don't let go of the body. We cannot let go of the body. The body sticks with us until it dies. But we must not be attached to the body. We have to be ready to let things happen to the body, such as we have to let the body get old, let the body get sick, and let the body die. And what's the second part of the question?
The second part of the question is the citta a self, or do we let go of the mind?
See, the mind is a knowing element, but a deluded mind think that there's a self in the mind. So we have to use wisdom to study to investigate, to see that there's no self in the mind either. The mind is just another element like the other four elements.
The next question is from Bernard Go. Why is it many of the temples offering Buddha amulet, and yet in Buddhism teaching, we do not emphasize on this? Is this part of Buddhism?
Well, it's not part of the Buddha's teaching, that's definitely so. But somehow people want to have the Buddha in their heart, so they cannot see the Buddha without the body of the Buddha, so they make Buddha images. And then when you have Buddha images, you became attached to the images of the Buddha, and you think that these images can do some magical power. So it's just a kind of belief that arises from the devotees, the Buddhist devotees who doesn't study the teaching of the Buddha. Okay.
And the last question is from Yapto Yap. Namaste, Ajahn. Why did the Buddha have hair while his disciples had to shave off all their hair?
Oh, this is just a Buddha artist's impression of the Buddha. That's all. The Buddha shaved his head just like any other monks. Because the Buddha said, whatever I tell you to do, I already do it before you. So if he tells us to shave our head, it means he already shaved his head also.
That is all, Ka.
Okay. We have our last participant, Samanji from Sri Lanka. Hi, Samanji. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, sir.
Oh, her connection is not good then. Well, in the meantime, we still have some time left. Anybody would like to? I saw Stalin raise your hand, right? Okay, Stalin.
I don't know. I just once looking at this, I can you remember this?
Dhamma, yeah, Dhamma for the asking. That's one of my first books.
Yeah, first book. There I realized that the second time when I met you, where it is mentioned lay people from California in May 27, 2014.
2014.
Yeah, where you were asking what type of a doctor I was and so forth. And I think prior to that, I met you somewhere in 2012. So more than 12 years ago, I have met you.
Okay, good.
I just thought of it, let you know. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Time passed by very quickly, isn't it?
Okay.
How time has
Yeah, how time has gone quick.
Yeah.
And I hope to meet you again.
I
Maybe
hope
the
so
last
too.
time. I don't know.
Yes. Okay, well, you're meeting me right now, so why have to come here?
No, live. I really enjoyed that participating in the Pindapata.
I see.
Yeah.
But I don't live on the mountain anymore, so I'm down on the main temple below.
Oh, you don't go down the Pindapata anymore?
I go on Winterbar, but I don't live on the mountain. I don't give talk
Oh,
on
you
the
don't
mountain.
live on the mountain? Oh,
Yeah.
I see. So
But,
then we have to come to the
the main
main
temple. Yeah.
monastery.
Okay.
That's much easier, I think.
Yeah, it's much easier. There's no.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Adam.
You're welcome. Okay, Samanji, you're back again. Can you now speak? Unmute your microphone.
I couldn't hear you properly. That's why I logged out. Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Now, I have a small question. Now I have started doing a bit of meditation now. When I do it, Ajahn, I find it very difficult to concentrate. Maybe after 5-10 minutes, my mind doesn't stay at one place. Maybe I can't concentrate on meditation. So, could you please offer me some sort of an advice, as to how I should continue?
It means your mindfulness is still weak, not strong enough.
Yeah.
So you have to need to develop more mindfulness before you can meditate, before you come to meditation, in which you can do during your daily life. See, as soon as you get up in the morning, the first thing you should do is mindfulness. Start mindfulness. As as you go and continue on with whatever you do, like going to take a shower, brushing your teeth, getting dressed or whatever, eating, keep focus on your body activity. Don't let your mind go think about other things. Don't go to the office yet. You're not at the office yet. You're home. So keep the mind with the body. Then you will have more mindfulness this way.
That's how I should start with. Then should I practice metta meditation also? I do on a regular basis, like
No, just use
before that.
body meditation, body mindfulness.
Okay. Yeah. Plus, firstly, we should practice mindfulness. Then only we can go to deep meditation.
That's right. Because or else you won't be able to sit for a long time. After you sit for a few minutes, you might start to wandering around and think about other things already. So you want to keep the mind focused.
Yeah.
So before you meditate, keep it focused with your body. Keep watching
Maybe
your
after
body.
about 5-10 minutes, like I lose my concentration. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe yeah.
See how long you can focus on your body tomorrow morning when you get up.
Okay, then thank you, Tanya.
If you can focus with the body until you go to work, then you have a lot more mindfulness, and I guarantee you will be able to sit longer when you meditate.
You have to be mindful of what I'm doing, right? Maybe
That's
whatever I
right.
do, I
Everything.
have to.
Yeah, just be with whatever you do.
Okay. Then that Buddha mantra also, like I have to choose either of that, either of the two, right?
You can use both at the same time, so it can reinforces each other. Or you can just use the body, but with the mantra, it will make it harder for your mind to go think about other things.
Yeah, Tanajan, thank you. Like that.
Okay, when you start doing it, you understand what mindfulness is and how important it is.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that you started to meditate now.
Yeah, we'll let you know by next week the progress, Tanajan. Yes.
Yeah, but be patient. Don't worry about the progress so much, but keep doing it. And sometimes it might be slow, might not be noticeable, but you're really going. You are advancing. It's like planting a tree. The tree doesn't grow in one day. It takes time for it to slowly grow. Your mindfulness is like that. It takes time for it to develop.
Yeah, we'll do it that way. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have any other question for your?
No, that's only for today, actually.
Okay.
I asked that for myself, actually, because I
Okay.
started doing it. Maybe next week I'll join the session with some questions.
Okay, good. Maybe you can let me know how things work. Okay. I'll go to the next person then, which is Pendy Martin. Pendy Martin. Where are you from, sir?
Good evening, Ajahn.
Where are you from?
I'm from Indonesia.
Okay. Can I help you?
I have a question. About a week ago, I have a dream. In my dream, I see myself, and then I'm teaching myself in that dream about anatta. And then the next night, the next day, I'm dream again about I teach about myself about meditating. It's we have to give attention to the process about rise and fall, to the nama and rupa, and then it comes again to the next day when I dream again. I teach myself again in my dream that about how to treat the citta. If we want to make the chitta is straight or to bend it, the chitta, we have to tie it with prana. I just confused with about my dreams because it happens under my conscience. How can it be happen, Ajahn?
How can you what? How can you have what?
I'm sorry.
What is your question again?
My question is, why it's happened to my dream? Because it's happened in our conscious, below consciousness.
Oh, when you go to sleep, you don't have mindfulness, so you cannot control your mind. So the mind can create any types of dreams.
Okay.
So you just know what you dream, and if you can use what you dream to help you advance in your practice, then you use it. If you cannot use it, then just forget about it.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn. And then my next question is the chitta when when I'm concerned to the chitta is spark, and then the spark is have the condition too with cause and effects. Is that true or not, Ajahn?
Can you speak louder, please?
When the chitta is spark.
Is what? When the chitta is...
Spark. The chitta spark.
What do you mean by spark?
I mean there is a way. The jump of the chitta.
I don't understand what you mean by sparks.
Maybe I need my friends to translate. Yes. Hello? Hello, Ajahn.
Yes, go ahead.
Can I have help from my friend Rusli to translate to English?
Sure. Who is she? Where is she?
He is already at the Zoom.
In the Zoom meeting?
Yes.
What's her name? I don't see her on the screen. Oh, Rusli. Okay, Rusli, you want to translate your friend's question?
Okay.
Go ahead, speak.
Kok Rusli, jadinya ketika pikiran itu lompatan pikiran muncul, saya melihat lintasan pikiran itu ketika dia mulai bekerja gitu kan, itu akan berhenti kalau misalnya tidak ada penyebabnya. Tapi kalau misalnya ada sebabnya, dia akan berlanjut. Apakah seperti itu? Minta tolong ditranslate. Terima kasih.
Go ahead, Rusli, speak. Your sound doesn't come through. Something wrong with your microphone. Maybe when you enter the room, you didn't click at the right button or someplace. So the microphone isn't working. I cannot hear you. You might have to go out and come back again. Okay. Try to go out and come back again. Leave the room and then reconnect again. Wait for Rusli to come back, okay? I don't understand what you mean by spark in the mind. Just, anybody knows spark? What he means by spark when the mind has spark? Okay, Wesley, you're back. Unmute your microphone now. Okay, speak. Speak. Cannot hear you. Not sure. Did you turn off the microphone or something? No, no sound at all. Well, I'm sorry. I have to go to the next person and see if Wesley can cover. Okay. I'll go to Sulan now. Sulan from Singapore.
Yeah, hello Ajahn, nice to see you.
Good to see you too. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Recently I brought my parents to join this Ajahn Chah Memorial Tour in Thailand.
I see.
Yeah. Then we followed the group around and then we went back to my father's place in Penang. Yeah, to visit his relatives. Yeah, so that's why I couldn't join the session last Tuesday.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No problem.
Mm.
You're not obliged to join this meeting. You can come and join anytime you like, or don't join anytime you like. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, I wish to join.
No punishment. No penalty. No penalty.
Yeah. Ajahn always full of metta. Yeah. When I always talk to you, I feel very recharged.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, how are you?
Good. Thank you.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah. I have a question for this week also.
Okay.
Yeah. So last week when we were going for the memorial tour following the Buddhist group, then we heard this story about how like there's a Buddhist story that in the Buddha's time people ask the Buddha like how come there's like 4 types of people when listening to him. The first one would fall asleep, and the second one is looking at the sky. Then the third one is like I can't remember, maybe like wanting to climb the tree or something like that. Then only the last person is very diligent in listening to the Buddha's teaching. Then the Buddha kind of shared that it's because of their habitual inclinations. That's why the first 3 types of people was not able to appreciate his Dhamma. Then especially the type that keep falling asleep, maybe in a past life could be like animals. Yeah. So then like I was wondering, is there any hope for the first 3 types of people?
Oh yeah, there's hope, but whether they can salvage themselves or not, that's up to them. First, they have to know their problem. That they don't have any interest in the Buddha's teachings. That's the main cause. If they don't have any interest, then it's very difficult for them to force themselves to listen to the Buddha's teaching. So you have to somehow make them interested in the Buddha's teaching. Once they become interested, then they want to learn. Then they want to listen. They want to learn. So you have to somehow be able to convince them how good the Buddha's teaching is. Then they might be interested. But if they cannot be, if you cannot convince them how important, how precious the Buddha's teaching is, then they don't care. They don't want to pay attention. The problem is not with other people. The problem is with yourself. Whether you're interested in the Buddha's teaching or not, that's more important. If you are, that's good enough. Don't worry about other people. You cannot save the whole world. You can only save yourself. So try to save yourself now and don't worry about other people.
Oh. So it's only like through saving ourselves, then we can save other people.
Once you have saved yourself, then you know how to save other people. But if you don't know how to save yourself yet, how can you go save other people?
That's true.
Okay. All right. Okay, I have a few more minutes left. I have to go.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Wesley, can you speak now? You're still the same. No sound. Okay, sorry.
Okay, Lucy, you use a notebook, right? Unplug your microphone first and go to the audio setting and select the microphone.
Okay, we have sound now. Go ahead, speak. No sound yet. Can you speak? Hello? No sound, no sound. Maybe the setting is
Yeah,
it's not for the right mic.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, can hear you now.
Okay, the question was when in the mind there are a lot of sankhara, when there was a cause by an object, for example, will there be a time when there is actually no object and then the mind will be just calm and quiet?
No, because the mind is still have the defilement that keep pushing the sankhara to keep thinking all the time. Only way is to stop it with mindfulness, with full concentration, with jhana. Then you can stop sankhara temporarily. Can you explain to him?
The second one would, is there any, actually, is there the mind work with the object, the sankharas and everything in a parallel way, means that there are so many things running on there are so many tracks running on each object.
I don't understand what you say.
Does the mind work in parallel way on each object? Means like there are some objects running around with let's say they are some kind of good, bad, running together all parallel.
I don't know.
And then the third one is, does actually the mind, just now Ajahn already explained that actually the mind is never really calm without the mindfulness, like it's running over and over again as long as there are defilement causing the mind to go wandering around all the time.
That's right. Avijja pattaya sankhara. See, avijja is the defilement, which push the sankhara to keep on thinking all the time. If you have Dhamma, then you can stop the avijja. Then Dhamma will stop the sankhara from thinking. Or tell when the sankhara should think and when should stop. With Dhamma, you can control the sankhara.
So the mindfulness is the key to stop the sankhara, at least momentarily.
Yes, sankhara, the mindfulness is temporary and wisdom is permanent. These are the two Dhamma that will be able to control the sankhara.
That would be all. Thank you very much, Ajahn.
Okay, you want to explain to him or later? Now or later?
I can explain to him later.
Okay then.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Anybody else would like to ask any more questions? We have about 6 minutes left. Okay, looks like everybody wants to go home now. Oh, Biyao, okay, you raise your hand.
So this is a path. This path is gradual training. Little step by step, you go into deeper samadhis and eventually wisdom. So each step coming out of the sensual world, you have a higher pleasure in the jhanas, and that's also temporary. There's this bit of suffering, subtle suffering coming out of jhana because you know it's going to change. But in the wisdom, there's another level of bliss. But so is one who is an arahat maybe, or somebody who is advanced in the path, has a lot of jhana practice, can they just quickly go because he knows the jhana is also as suffering? Can he just go from jhana to wisdom quickly rather than just hanging there in the jhanas? You can use it as necessary, but you don't need to sit there, because the wisdom part gives you the more total bliss and happiness. Can stay there for longer.
Well, if you have jhanas, but you don't have the teaching of the Buddha to teach you, then you will stuck with jhana forever. Like before the Buddhas became enlightened, no one could become enlightened. But once the Buddha became enlightened and he taught the Four Noble Truths to those who have jhana, they can become enlightened right away. They know what they have to get rid of. They know what they have to stop, which are the 10 fetters. That's what the Buddha said. You have to get rid of the 10 fetters. And if you have jhana, you have the strength to do it. Without jhana, you won't be able to get rid of the 10 fetters yet. So you have to go develop jhana first. And in order to develop the jhana, you have to have mindfulness. In order to develop mindfulness, you have to have the time to develop it. So you have to stop your all other activities. You have to devote all your time to the practice. So you have to keep the precept, the 8 precepts.
Basics. Go back to the basics.
Yeah. So this is step by step that you have to do.
Gradual.
But if you already got to the last step, then you don't have to worry about the previous steps, because you already.
Yeah. That's the question.
If you haven't. So it depends on where you are on your mental development.
Yeah. So each station, like say you're going to Thailand, you go through Singapore, wherever, but you don't have to worry about the Singapore. You're already in Thailand already.
Once you pass Singapore, then you have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But also in Sutta text, it says Buddha always dhyana soya pasuna, like he practiced dhyana all the time.
You can always use it for your benefit, for your own. In these questions, I think Buddha like always say to practice jhana, encourage jhana, because I think that's the way one can be in a like getting out of the sensual realm and be in a happy state of mind, like blissful priti sukha, state of mind, right? That's why they encourage. But that is not the end. Obviously, as you say, people before Buddha, the Buddha put a twist to the insight, like and see the impermanence, suffering in not self, which never was described before the time of Buddha.
Yes, you need wisdom to be able to completely free the mind from suffering. The jhana will only temporarily free the mind temporarily when you enter into jhana. But when you come out of jhana, your defilement will still be able to cause you suffering. So you need wisdom to get rid of your defilement.
Then you're completely free of the suffering.
Once there are no defilement, then there are no suffering. So there is no need to go into jhana anymore.
Jhana back again. But you can use it as a tool, but it's not necessary.
Not necessarily like the medicine. Once you already finish cure your illness, what's the point? Continue eating
Going back
the
to the cupboard.
But you might use it as a supplement, like vitamins and things like
that. But you don't really need it anymore.
You
Thank
don't
you,
need to kill the disease anymore. There's no disease to kill.
Thank you, Tanajan. I
Thank you,
think it's time is
Tanajan.
right. I think.
Well, thank you for your question also, and that takes up all our time for tonight. Well, thank you all for your company. I hope you have learned something from this meeting and can apply it in your practice and help push your practice forward. In the meantime, please stay safe, stay mindful, and keep on practicing. And if all goes well, I'll see you all at the same time next week. Thank you and goodbye.
กราบสาธุเจ้าค่ะ
Thank you, Tanajan. Everyone,
Thank you, Tanajan.
Rajan.
Ajahn.
Take care, everyone.
บ๊ายบาย
Good night, Ajahn.
Thank you. Kunjuk.